Well, let's bring in our senior political analyst, Marwan Bishara, who's been following events for us in London. And of course, condemnation coming in slowly as well, we believe from human rights groups, but we really are at the stage, Marwan, within this last hour of just trying to take in what the Minister for Communication actually had to say and the ramifications for our bureau and for viewers, most probably in Israel, who watch Al Jazeera quite keenly, considering it is a channel that has given a voice to the Israeli perspective for nearly 20 years.
Absolutely. As you said, when we get to the bridge, we'll figure out how to cross it. For the time being, this is still in the realm of threat and warnings, if you will. It remains to be seen whether such a law will pass in the Israeli parliament. For the time being, I foresee more and more condemnations and criticism of the decision by the Israeli government, certainly from within and from without Israel, because I think a good number of Israeli journalists, you will see, they will stand against this kind of decision, even if they are critical of Al Jazeera themselves. Because, as they say, and this is probably more familiar to Jewish audiences in general, they say they first came for the Jew and then they came to the such and such. And they also understand, everyone understands, you might first come to Al Jazeera, but eventually you will come after every other journalist who you disagree with. So I think more and more pressure will probably build up on Israel and on the Israeli government per se, simply because this is the kind of decision that we've seen when it was taken earlier by certain Arab dictators wasn't received kindly. And by the way, so I actually want to read this to our viewers around the world, because I didn't realize it was that simplistically stupid. Because the Israeli communication minister said exactly those words. We have based our decision on the move by Sunni Arab states to close Al Jazeera offices and prohibiting their work. What he is saying, that Israel now takes its cue from Arab dictators. That's it. He actually said we based our decision on the fact that General Sisi of Egypt, who through a coup d'etat is ruling Egypt, and the kind of Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia and Mohammed bin Zayed of the United Arab Emirates, those dictatorships now dictate to Israel what it does about press and press credentials. Let's everyone around the world now listen up to this. Israel is taking its cues from Arab dictators. Not only are we seeing the emergence of a new alliance between dictators and the military occupation of Israel, a new axis is coming out of the closet, but we're seeing Israeli minister admitting to journalists that Israel takes its cue from Arab dictators. That's the one and only democracy in the Middle East.
How do you think if that's the statement that you're coming out with, Marwan, how do you think that's going to be received by the right wing in Israel then?
Well, the right wing in Israel has taken a good number of steps to the right. We have been reporting that, unlike a lot of other networks, who like to praise the startup nation and so on and so forth. Our coverage of Israel has shown over the years why the Israeli political map has moved rightward. And how, because the United States continues to reward Israel for its policies towards the Palestinians, including quadrupling the settlements over the last 15, 20 years, including the continued occupation, military occupation, the discrimination against the Palestinian minority within Israel, and so on and so forth. Israel has continuously moved to the right. So even Prime Minister Netanyahu, who is under pressure for corruption cases and so on and so forth, still enjoys the kind of support among various political parties who are mostly on the right in Israel. So unfortunately, we have a tendency, an authoritarian tendency, that has went to the extreme in Israel over the years. Instead of Israel becoming more moderate and trying to coexist and reconcile with the Palestinians, I think the occupation has basically pushed Israel more to the right. And I think we will see among the coalition parties support for this kind of step by the Netanyahu government.
Well, for the moment, we'll leave it there, Marwan. Thanks for joining us from London.